Are you ready to increase your retention and revenue and convert website traffic to clients? Then you're ready for Maya. Maya is a marketing and client recruitment software. Maya creates better business relationships by pairing the right clients with the right beauty professionals. How do we do it? A matchmaker. Your brand will have its own unique matchmaking survey. By pairing people based on their skill set, budget, personality, and lifestyle preferences, Maya creates lasting relationships that keep both sides coming back for more. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. Pair the right clients with the right beauty pros the first time. Visit joinmaya.com to get started.
Thank you for joining me. This is Katie Whitledge with the Beyond the Technique podcast. Today we're talking about surround yourself with success. And who do we have? No other than Stacey Soble, the perfect person to talk about success in the beauty industry. You may know the name Stacey Soble because she wears many hats with Salon Today. Specifically, she is the director of brand content strategy, but she is that beautiful face that introduces and starts the data driven event every single year. She is intertwined in all the things with Salon Today Top 200 Awards and the Salons of the Year Awards. There's just the list goes on. And really, that's why I wanted Stacey to come back today, is because if you are an owner and you want to be successful, you have to know about everything that's going on through Salon Today, because it's here to make sure that you are around great people and you are growing and learning constantly. So I can't wait to bring Stacey back. Without further ado, help me welcome Stacey. Welcome back to Beyond the Technique.
Thank you, Katie. Thanks for having me. And I'm really excited to be here. And we always have a lot going on, but now it just seems like it's a tidal wave of things. So it's kind of like everything, everywhere, all at once. I feel like that right now. I keep that. I didn't see the movie, but that title keeps going through my head every day because it's hard to know where to focus.
Oh my gosh, there's always so many good things going on. Before we dive into all of that, I want people to be reminded about who you are and your industry journey. You have been in the beauty industry for quite some time. Tell me, how did you get your start? What brought you to the beauty industry to begin with?
It's kind of an interesting story because I had a background in journalism and PR. I worked in healthcare and biotechnology, like doing PR for a while. My company this was like early 1990s, did a massive layoff of the whole PR department. And I was like scrambling, trying to find a job. And one of my very, very best friends worked at Modern Salon. So she was like, I can give you some freelance work. So I started freelancing for Salon Today. I started my first article was for Salon Today. And I just got hooked. I got hooked with the industry, loved it, and a permanent position came up, and I took it, and I never looked back. So,
What about the beauty industry just kept you here?
I think it's just all the relationships and how everybody embraces you, and people celebrate each other and learn from each other, and we've seen that happen. Like this is over the span of almost 28 years I've been doing this. That's changed rapidly on how we can do that now. It used to be we put a magazine together and 2 months later it would be in your mailbox, but now things are so much faster. So
It's just so cool how things have evolved. For everybody listening who isn't quite sure, what's the difference between Salon Today and Modern Salon?
Modern Salon is really a technical how-to book. It's for inspiration. It's for the technician in the salon, the stylist or the massage tech or the esthetician. And Salon Today is for the owner. So we really cover the business management topics. And it's for owners, and we say and managers because it's kind of a management manual. So
Yep. And for everybody listening, two things. I want you to know that you can watch today's conversation and see the faces behind the names. If you go to Beyond the Techniques YouTube channel, we have that link in our show notes, but also go to salontoday.com, because if you are not signed up to receive their emails and newsletters, you're totally missing out on tons of free education and free content, always so valuable. And you are going to hear from the best of the best in the industry. So I have to just say that. I know we are currently coming up on one of your newer events available for salon owners. This is different than just the big data driven event every year. Tell us a bit about Data Driven Salon Tour.
Well, Data Driven Salon Tour is kind of a 1-day, more intimate version of our Data Driven Salon Summit, which is a 2-day event. This is a 1-day event. But to really make it special, I wanted to combine like 3/4 of a day of education with a behind the scenes salon tour of 3 salons in a market. So we're going to be in Atlanta, October 28th. And so we have some great presentations about emotional IQ, managing through the pandemic and how that affects your mental health. And then we also are looking at how to acquire and keep clients, and color pricing, I think, is the other topic. So we have a lot going on during the day. Plus, we're going to give out our Salons of the Year awards and look at some of the salon designs that we honored through that competition. But at the end of the day, we're going to do a progressive cocktail party that you get on a charter bus and you go to Melrose and McQueen. Then we're going to go to Van Michael, and then we're going to go to Jameson Shaw Hairdressers. So
okay, so
it'll
I
be a
have to just say
fun
this.
trip.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on that bus. So I want, if you are listening and you
And
haven't
there
signed
are
up for
only
this,
9 tickets left. I have to say that,
oh,
because if you
well,
want to go, you got to
okay.
get on it.
You gotta literally get on it. So I have the link in our show notes. Get signed up for that 1-day event. Come on, like bring your GM. Let's go. Maya will be there, so I'm really excited for that. And amazing choices in salons. I cannot wait to hear the speakers, but also those tours. I think that is
And they're
special.
really different. They're really
Yeah,
different
they are
vibes
all
of
brand.
salons. So it's really fun to see, 3 market leaders that couldn't be more different. So
Amazing. And you kind of alluded to the salons of the year. What does that mean? Salons of the year. I know that we have this week the announcement coming out for those choices. What is that criteria?
the Salons of the Year is an interior design competition. So it's open for salons and spas that have either been newly opened or recently renovated in the last 2 years. So there's like a 2-year application window for after you completed the design. And it is a much more photo-based competition than the Salon Today 200. So we actually have a panel of judges that look at the photos, read the essays about the design choices that the owner made, and then we make a now we it used to be an issue, and now as the world of publishing is shifting, now we have kind of a micro hub within Salon Today. So it's more interactive, much more engaging medium within our website, which we can tell stories. So there are going to be 23 winners this year, and most of them have video tours. So the owner will take you on a behind the scenes tour of their salon. And for the
Yeah.
ones that we couldn't get videos for, we have images, but it's really great. If you're looking to renovate or you're looking for ideas for your next location, it's a great resource.
Yeah, I think the inspiration with that is huge. And if I recall, if people attend the data driven salon tour, there is this opportunity to check out Minerva. Is that correct? To see
Yeah,
their
they're doing a free breakfast that people can sign up for the day after. So if you come and you're with us on that Monday, Tuesday morning, they're going to do a breakfast and a tour of their showroom, which is nearby. So they're going to go on buses, and I think it's 20 minutes away or something, and they'll get to like go to the showroom and look at furniture. So, and
Yeah,
that's free to sign up for if you're in the market for that. So
I think that's such a good idea to do and actually sit in the shampoo chairs. Though
yeah,
no matter which one you choose, you're gonna have people complain they're not comfortable. I swear, like no matter how much we've spent on shampoo
that,
bowl, like it's
and be
never
able to see all the
comfortable.
options side by side and kind of enjoy.
Yeah. No, that's so fun. It's so fun. So Again, if you haven't gone to salontoday.com to sign up for the newsletters, email blasts, get on that because the salons of the year are going to be announced this week and you want to see those top choices.
Yeah.
I love that. And then we are officially in the application season for the Salon Today Top 200 Awards. These are salons that are going to be recognized at the 2025 Data Driven Salon Summit. That is going to be in, I believe, Scottsdale, Arizona this next year, right?
Yeah. April 27th and 28th in Scottsdale. So
Oh my gosh,
we
I'm
have
so
we have a
excited.
big sit down dinner for the Salon Today 200, and we do award presentations. And then on that night, we pick about 4 or 5. I think last year I had 6 special awards from those essays last year that we thought were like very innovative ideas. So
I know that was really special. I thought that it was the best one ever in Denver. And so I can't wait for this next location. That's going to be awesome. And you have something kind of exciting to share about this year's application. I hear there's a new category for us.
there is a new category. I mean, I think for the people that enter every year, and we have 11 different categories that you can enter. You've got to do the growth one and then you pick one. But it also, for us as judging, it's like nice to read something different. So this year we added a new category called business builders, and it's really giving you an opportunity to talk about something you've done in your business that really drove a lot of revenue to the bottom line, whether that's bringing in a new product line or adding a new service to your menu or getting into a whole new service category. So um, I'm looking forward to see how that unveils itself, because I don't know yet, but we're hoping that it drives some ideas. And we've had a handful of applications already turned in and a couple that have chose that category. So
What's our deadline for this, Stacey?
October 31st is the official deadline. If you've entered at all, you know that I usually do an extension because this industry is really good at
Because you know us
procrastinating.
so well.
I know you so well. So usually it's drop dead deadline is around November 15th. So, but October 31st is what we do officially until it's October 31st.
Until then. Well,
And I'll say people are getting better about entering early. I've gotten more early applications this year than I've ever seen. So,
oh, good. Yeah. And here's what I noticed because I dove in and checked it out, which for everybody listening, we have the link in our show notes for you to see that application. I loved that this year you actually had written out your top tips for people filling out the application.
mhm.
If you wouldn't mind, what is one of the biggest mistakes people make and what could be like, here are the top 3 things to focus on to have a better chance of being recognized?
Absolutely. Well, I like to start off and say, people get really hung up on the essay. We can see on our platform when people stop in the application and they get out, and it's always at that point where they have to choose an essay and write about it. People get very worked up about the writing of the essay. We are not judging grammar, spelling, punctuation, any of that. We're looking at ideas. I don't care if you bullet point things and just put in notes. I need to be able to follow them and understand them when we judge them. And we also don't like a lot of fluff and flowery prose that like gets to the point. We want you to get to the point right away. And the point really is each of those essay categories is not just one, it's a category, but we give you several questions. You don't have to answer every one of those questions. Those questions are prompts to get you to think about the right direction and what to focus on in your essay. And usually that is whatever the category it is, there's specific things, but we also want to see that you did something that you measured and you got a positive result. Sometimes that result is it didn't work when you learned something, and because of that, you made a different change. But that's what we're looking for. And you have to keep in mind that you're competing with everybody else that enters in that category. So you want your thing to stand out by being innovative and creative in business. So that's my number one big thing.
Yeah. I want to just reiterate, put the data in the essay.
Yeah.
Like you have to share the metrics because you're at a data-driven event. Like I think that's a mistake. Yeah, is making it like based on our feelings of how things went when we did this or that, but put the actual numbers into it. That's huge. I love the
And
new
that
like
is hard in a category like culture, salon culture. I get that. But you can talk about, your attrition of employees leaving is
yeah.
cut down, or you've been able to attract new recruits because of something. Or just, that you surveyed your people and that you get a regular metric of how they're feeling about the business. I mean, that could be
Mhm.
showing that you're incorporating measurement and data into a category that is a little harder to measure, right?
You're giving us the golden nuggets. I love that. So that is so important for everybody to participate in. And what I love is even salons that feel like they haven't arrived yet or have earned the right to possibly be recognized still apply because you never know that you have that opportunity because there are a lot of category options. So please
Yeah.
just put yourself out there and give it a shot. I promise it will be worth it.
I
And if
think
you're,
it's also a
yeah,
great activity to involve your team in. You don't have to think about you doing it, in your office by yourself writing the essay, but like take those questions that we put together, whatever category, discuss the categories with your team. What do they think you excel in?
mm,
And what should you enter? And then maybe, at one staff meeting, just have everybody throw out ideas of, because it's hard for one person to remember what you've done over the whole last year.
yeah.
But if you get that together with your team and our other big thing this year is we are going to be checking to see how much AI wrote the essays.
Oh, Chat GPT.
Yeah, we
We're
have
gonna
a
get dinged
filter
if we
to
use
check
Chat
that.
GPT.
So I'm not saying don't use it, but don't use it to don't have it right at 100%. If you want to use it to put your essay in and they help you reorganize it and make it a better essay, fine. But you will not do well if you use ChatGPT to come up with the ideas because the ideas are what's original and
Yeah.
distinctive about your business.
So if your essay says that you're gonna delve into the incredible world of beauty business, the word delve, I see that so much. I'm like,
And
you
yeah,
use ChatGPT. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But yeah, I think that's important. And yeah, thank you for sharing this incredible opportunity for salons. And even if you, let's say you're a newer salon, because Stacey, remind me the rules. If I just opened my salon, I have to wait a certain period. What if I add a second location? Is there a waiting period for that? What are the rules with that?
the rules are I can't remember the exact date, but it says in the application because the reason is because we're looking at growth between for this. So for this year, it would be growth between 22 and 23 because 24 isn't finished yet. We don't know what the figures for that at. So that's what we're looking at. So you have to be open by, I guess, January 1st, 2022. Um, and then if you have multiple locations, you have the choice. You can't do two different applications, but you could do one as a corporation and include all the locations, or you could signal out like the location that you think performed the best and just enter that salon business. And of
Yep.
course, all the numbers that you enter in those fields have to be either that individual location or the company as a whole. Does that make sense?
Yep.
It's a
And
little
it's
complicated.
all written up when people land on the application
Yeah.
landing page. So that'll be perfect. And even what I was going to say is if you're newer, still go to Data Driven Salon Summit. It is so good. And the metrics shared and the stories and the innovations from different companies is really game changing. And that's the point of this conversation is surrounding yourself with success. It's
Yeah.
who you surround yourself with, which is so important.
And one of the
So,
main goals of the Salon Today 200 is come up with this brain trust of ideas that different successful owners have offered us. So, right. So we're kind of rising the tide together.
mm,
Um, but I also think I've had many, 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 many owners tell me simply the process of going through the application was helpful in strategic planning for the year ahead. So
yeah,
that
yeah,
wasn't my intention, when we came up with it, but that's a lot of people have found it a useful tool to help them navigate future planning too.
So good and so true. Well, you also have currently a really special fundraiser that you are a part of. Tell us a bit about this.
Yeah, I'm involved with this organization called Hair to Stay, and they help subsidize women who can't afford the cool cap treatment, which helps prevent them from losing the hair during chemotherapy. So we know, I think every salon owner and every stylist at one point has probably had a cancer client in their chair that has discussed the fact that they're concerned about losing their hair, and, whatever, however they decide to navigate that. But knowing that this isn't one is even an option, that women can get through chemotherapy and still preserve their hair. And we know the philanthropy has done some research on this, and 8% of women will actually deny having chemotherapy because they don't want, because they're so scared about losing their hair. So to think that they will risk their lives for that is, and we know why it's so important. Every one of you know why it's so important, but I just thought it was an important organization to that. So what they do is they subsidize women because it is something that insurance doesn't cover.
I didn't
But
realize that. What the heck?
I know. But this organization helps subsidize lower income patients that can't afford the treatment. So
And how do you feel this is like kind of hit home for you, Stacey? If you don't mind sharing, because I think
I
that
don't mind sharing, and that's part of the reason this organization touches my heart is I was diagnosed with cancer in 2023, and I was very fortunate. I didn't need to have chemotherapy, but I will say that I had my last radiation treatment 3 days before I went to Data Durban that year in Nashville, and 2 weeks before my daughter's wedding. So the thought of having to navigate those big life events and think about not having your hair while you're having treatment, I would have probably postponed it to get through my daughter's wedding, and said, can we start chemo later? I don't think I would have said, no, don't do it, but I probably would have postponed it. And so the thought of being able to have more control in that, because I think when a woman loses her hair, to me anyway, it took me several months to be able to talk publicly about being diagnosed. And if you lose your hair, everybody knows what's going on with you, right? Or they suspect. You can't hide it. So I think it gives you more control of your own personal journey. So
yeah. And our hair is so tied to our identity
I
and
didn't have any.
ism. So
But I do want to talk about the actual challenge. So there's a social media challenge. And I recently, it's kind of like the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, but it's, we call it the cold rinse challenge. So because there's the whole issue with the cold cap, we're asking people to dip, dunk, douse their hair with cold water, and talk about Hair to Stay's mission, and then donate, and then challenge 3 other people to do the same. So, and that's all on hairtostay.org. It talks about how to do the cold rinse challenge. And so my video, we challenged anyone who ever had a cancer patient in their hair to do it, to do the challenge. So
well, I want to acknowledge a couple things. First, we will absolutely include the link in our show notes to Hair to Stay's website so you and your teams can participate. What an easy way to shine a light on this topic. I had no idea that this was a service not covered, or a treatment, I should say, not covered by insurance. So that's crazy. But also, I want to acknowledge your commitment, because to go through what you went through and still show up to those major events, and you would never know, and you're working and putting a smile on your face and be, like, wow, Stacey, like, I don't know how you pulled that off, but you
well,
are very committed and a very inspiring woman.
I will tell you, for me, having something else to focus on kept my mind off of the dark places.
Mm.
But I also will go back to what we said earlier about why I love this industry so much, because I knew that I was going through that, and exhaustion is a big part of it. Number one, my events team had a cot in the back room for me to lie down on if I ever felt I needed it, which made me cry when I saw it. I didn't actually need to use it ever, but the thought that they thought of me that way was great. But I also asked a number of salon owners to get up on stage and and introduce other speakers for me, because the physically tiring part of running a show like that is getting up and down off the show every half an hour on the stage and introducing someone. So I did that, and I probably asked 10, 15 people to do intros. And then Larry Kane came with a cancer pin for everyone that I had asked in my color. And I hadn't really publicly talked about my cancer, but I did share it with those people. And so it was just like a quiet way to support me. Nobody knew what those were for, but like 15 people were wearing them at the conference.
Wow.
So yeah, it really touched my heart. And I really felt the hug from that, the virtual hug.
Yeah, I agree that the relationships in this industry, there just is nothing like it. And we all love and appreciate you. You do work very hard and wear so many hats. And
Thank you.
yeah, you are very appreciated.
Thank you so much. But it's not about me. I don't want to talk about me.
Well, but you're great. So, and you really are such a voice to really promote the good thing. Like Salon Today is offering so many great resources for owners that every year we need to do this together so that we shine a light on it because it's all for their benefit. Before we're done here today, Stacey, would you have any final words of encouragement for owners listening as we think about surrounding ourselves with success?
Well, the one thing I think that Salon Today does is we really, the way that we share success is we put the spotlight on people who are doing things and what we think of as in a successful way, and they're sharing their stories, right? So beyond signing up for our complimentary newsletters, I think is, pick these organizations that you feel affiliated with, and show up and get to know the other owners. That network of having people because owning the salon can feel very lonely if you don't have a core of people that are your peers that know what you're dealing with day in and day out, and how to navigate certain situations. So I think whether it's data driven or it's some other event, like look at the calendar of events that are possible and show up to a few and start to form your own network of support.
Well, I'll be the first to say that Data Driven Salon Summit is one of my top 3 most important industry events for salon owners and their leadership teams to attend. It's, to me, a
Thank
must
you, Katie.
attend. Absolutely. Like, it's true. And so I'm happy to shine a light on this. And I just appreciate your time and being here to share all of your passion projects with us.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about them. So thank you so much.
And I'll see you in Atlanta.
I will see you in Atlanta.
Well, thank you,
And I
everybody.
challenge you to
Yeah.
do the hair to stay challenge now.
Girl, this cold plunge trend, it's like, let's go. Let's do
Get your
this.
kids involved. How much would they love to pour ice cold water over your head?
Too much, probably. Especially in Wisconsin. I'm like, we can't avoid the cold. Like, why not? Well, you know what? Let me just say this because it's hilarious. So I don't know if it was you or whoever it was jumping into the lake and they're like, this lake is only 60 some degrees. I was like, really? We're fired up. If that's 60 degrees in Wisconsin, we're like, yeah, let's get out there. It's a
That's out
great
there. That's cold. That's cold in California. So then we thought that was cold.
That is so funny. Yeah.
The best part of that video, though, is we almost fell off the boat before we jumped because it hit a wave and we were like trying to hold on and finish the video. So it is worth watching just because it's hilarious.
Well, we have also in our show notes for you to follow Salon Today Official on Instagram and Stacey's Instagram as well. So again, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I so appreciate it.
My pleasure. And thank you all for joining us here week after week at Beyond the Technique. If you appreciate this podcast platform, we would love it if you take a moment to leave us a positive review wherever you're listening so that more people like yourself will discover Beyond the Technique, where we're here to change the way that you are supported in your business. Until next time, have an awesome day and stay
Thank you,
strong.
Kate.
Thank you.